Hey, hey, hey. How's it going?
Hi, how is
Hi, can you
everybody?
hear me?
Yes,
Yes, I can hear you.
this is good Wi-Fi. No, but it is. It's perfect.
Let me say
Well,
hi to
how's
people
everybody
real
doing?
good, good.
Good.
Hey, Frank, Cindy,
Ninja has
Art,
COVID, but other than that, we're fine.
John. How's he feeling?
Good. He had a rough night, but he's doing better now. Like he had hard time
Who's
breathing, I
got
guess.
COVID?
But with
His
my
son.
oldest,
Nephew.
shout
Son.
out to
Oldest.
John, Mark, Gareth, Clem
Hey, Gareth.
here,
Oh, there's
Cindy
Gareth. Hey,
Turner.
Gareth.
Cindy Turner's
Pete.
here. The
Hey, Pete.
Rosa. Good to see you, Frank.
Cindy. I think I said Cindy, didn't I? Oh, well. I said
Yes.
hi to everybody.
I
Yeah.
said Cindy twice. Sorry, Cindy. Perfect. I don't think we're going to fight over this case. I would adopt her if I could.
Who?
No, I'm not going to jump ahead.
Mm.
Oh, I mean, I'm just thinking, did you
Cliffhanger.
watch the right case? Because who needs adopted? Anyway.
But if someone survives, then. But we're not there yet. Peter. She's going to mute me right away. Before she kicks me, I want to thank God and my mom, and nice to see you all. I shut up.
If you're not going to fight, that means only Chrissy and Claire will be doing the talking. If you don't start spelling that name right, Pete, I'm going to punch you in the face. We go through this in
Good to see you,
DM2.
Pete. Be nice for a change. Or change your name.
All right, are we ready?
Ready?
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know if I am. Yeah, I think I am.
Oh,
Oh.
are you okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good.
Take your time. We're listening. We're here.
Yeah. So tonight's case, we're going to Missouri. I don't think we've ever been to Missouri. Have we
I
been
don't
to
think we
Missouri?
have.
So we're going to talk about the Staudtes, Diane and Mark Staudte, and their kids.
Okay.
This is actually the only picture of them two together that I could find. There was several of her alone or him alone, but them two together, this is it.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah. So that should tell you something there. Yeah, and there's Mark right there. And then this is the one that's on the thumbnail that has the whole family on there. There's Mark and Diane at the top, and then Sean, Sarah, Rachel, and Brianna, who is blurred out because she's a minor. Okay. Now, some of the websites and stories that I read on this said that they were high school sweethearts, and another one said that they met while they were in college. So, regardless, they were married in 1985. And 6 months after they got married, they welcomed their firstborn, which is Sean. And then they would go on to welcome Sarah, Rachel, and Brianna.
So they did have 4, because the first photo
Yes.
I remember the 3, but there was 4. Yeah.
Yeah, they're I guess Brianna wasn't born yet for this photo. They're all still little. Either that or she was pregnant. Who knows?
Yeah. Oh no, that's cool.
Yeah.
She would lie to you anyway if you asked her. I
Probably.
would take her word.
Yeah. They bought a house in Springfield, Missouri, where they were going to raise their children. Mark was in a blues band called Messing with Destiny. But he was mostly a stay-at-home dad. He took some occasional shifts as a bartender to earn some extra cash. Diane was the family breadwinner. She worked full-time at a local hospital as a nurse, and she was also musically gifted, playing the organ for the church. Rachel also showed musical gifts as a flutist and was a talented artist. Rachel's the third daughter. The couple faced a lot of challenges with raising their children. Brianna had a learning disability. She was the youngest. Sean was on the autism spectrum. Sarah was a college grad but still lived at home with no job and a mountain of student debt. And then Rachel was the star student and could be considered the golden child. She played the flute, loved math, chemistry. She was an artist and loved poetry. So Rachel was the favorite of the family.
Let's see. So is that the second youngest?
Yes.
Yeah.
What a turnoff. If a chick says to me, I love math, I'm not dating her. When I met my wife, I learned that she didn't finish high school. That's the right
That's sad.
Yes. No, she did it later when she was 30. When we came back here, she lived in Germany for 9 years and then she graduated.
A turn off.
It is. Come on.
Are you done?
Yeah. Yes.
Jeez. All right. Where was I? Rachel being the golden child. Okay. Well, there's the family.
Yeah.
That describes the family. Now let's get on to, because there's not much background on these people. Normally I go into this whole big spiel of a background and, their childhood and all this other stuff and their families, but there's really not much here. But this is more of a matter of fact kind of case. So it just goes straight into it. The most part is the actual case itself, the investigation and things like that. So, April the 8th of 2012, it was Easter Sunday. Diane came home from church and found her husband, Mark, dead in his bed. She immediately called the police. Later, the medical examiner found a ring of dried blood around Mark's mouth, but nothing indicating a struggle or foul play. When questioned, Diane said that he had been feeling weak for the last few days, eating less and sleeping more than usual. And although he had no prior history of seizures, Diane said he suffered several that day. She said that she didn't call 911 because Mark told her he didn't want to go see a doctor. Now, if somebody in my family is having seizures and they tell me they don't want to go to a doctor, too bad. You're going. I'm calling anyway.
And drying blood doesn't mean anything, I guess, in Springfield, Missouri. Around his mouth.
Yeah. To back up her story, Mark's bandmates said that he seemed off at rehearsal that weekend, which was also his birthday weekend, and that he looked yellow. Knowing that the 61-year-old singer and guitarist didn't exactly live a healthy lifestyle, the medical examiner declared his death to be from natural causes.
At what age?
61. Yeah, natural causes at 61. Diane arranged a memorial service for Mark where his band performed one of his favorite songs. It's all the more tragic that the band was just now starting to see some success, booking gigs in nearby Branson pretty regularly. At the service, his bandmates noticed that Diane acted more like a party host than a grieving widow, but they chalked it up to everyone grieves differently. Diane had Mark's body cremated. Afterwards, she collected $20,000 life insurance policy and used the money to buy a bigger house for their family, now down to 5 people. So I don't get a motive for killing someone for 20 grand. I mean, if you're going to do it, make sure they have
it's pretty.
If they make sure they have like a $500,000 policy. I mean, I'm not advocating for that. I'm just saying for 20 grand, come on.
Get your money's worth.
Yeah, 20 grand is gone in a day if you buy a house.
Well, yeah, and in Missouri, in Springfield, probably was enough. And she moved only 10 minutes away from the old place.
Yeah. Yeah, it was
So-
right down the street, around the corner.
Same
So-
police department, just for the future.
Yep.
But she,
Right.
but she didn't move up. Doesn't sound like she traded up.
But yeah, it was a bigger house, but less people now.
She needed one less bedroom, but had another one on top of it.
Yeah, but not really, because
No,
her
yeah,
and Mark shared a room.
That's right. Yes.
So
Like there were two in each room in the whole house.
mhm.
We did the math.
Yeah. All right. Only a few months later, tragedy struck again. In September, Diane came home from church
No.
to find Sean dead on the floor. Diane told the medical examiner that he had been suffering from flu-like symptoms, diarrhea, nausea, body aches, and headaches for 3 weeks, but like his father, didn't want to see a doctor. Now, this child, and I'm going to call him a child because he was autistic, so he wasn't mentally his age, has seizures, but she didn't want to take him to the doctor? Sure.
How about the dried blood
Oh my
Getting
around
God.
the
there.
mouth? The
I'm
same
getting
thing.
there, Ian.
Oh,
Getting
sorry.
there.
Oh, it was not dry yet. Sorry, my bad.
A routine autopsy was performed. Like his father, Sean had a ring of dried blood around his mouth, but no obvious signs of foul play. The medical examiner determined that Sean had died of pre-existing medical conditions because I guess he had a seizure or disorder because of I don't know if autism causes that, but I guess he already had that. But this time, Diane didn't arrange any kind of memorial service. She didn't even run an obituary in the local paper. She cremated her only son's remains and scattered the ashes. So she didn't seem like she was too upset about his passing.
No.
This picture here was taken right after Sean's death. This was a Facebook post from Rachel, where she says, "I don't think I've seen my mom so chilled out like this in a long time." It was right after Sean's death.
Jesus.
Okay. Then strategy.
Strategy.
Yeah, strategy. Tragedy struck the Staudte family yet again. In June 2013, Diane rushed a gravely ill Sarah to the ER. That was Sarah, the oldest daughter. Yeah.
This one she decided needed medical attention.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe she thought, she maybe thought if this goes the same way, maybe I should call early enough that she's more.
Change
I mean, I don't want to go too far ahead, but the reason they called this time is because Rachel didn't want her to die in the house because it stunk up the house.
Oh.
The last two. So I think that's further down. Excuse me. Tests showed.
Make your murder someone else's problem. Sorry. You take the body. That's too smelly. Sorry. That's just ludicrous. Sorry. Yeah.
All right. Tests showed her kidneys and other organs were failing, and her brain was hemorrhaging. Doctors and medical staff worked to save the young woman's life, and thankfully were eventually able to stabilize her, though her condition was still grave. Sarah had to stay in the hospital for weeks, recovering, and was left with severe, permanent neurological damage. She had to relearn how to perform basic things like walking and even talking. And here Diane put a Facebook post asking for prayers as my daughter Sarah is in critical condition in ICU tonight. So Diane rarely visited her daughter in the hospital. When she did, she didn't stay long. Hospital staff would later recall how she didn't seem very upset by her daughter's grave condition. She would joke and laugh with them, and even stated that she wasn't going to let her daughter's condition get in the way of her vacation plans. Sarah's doctor, in particular, was suspicious. After multiple tests came back negative, he started to believe that the young woman may have been poisoned. Imagine that. Somebody's finally getting the...
The pennies dropped.
Pastor Jeff Sippy, this is him right here. He placed an anonymous call to the police in Springfield. He said, I shared that I'm a pastor and I have a family who has experienced 2 deaths in a short proximity of time and has another family member in the ICU. I've never had 2 family members die in the same type of situation ever.
Good for him.
I believe these were circumstances that needed to be investigated. So, the police opened an investigation. Thanks to Fire, Mr. Sippy, Pastor Sippy. Things always up here, Frank.
So he made this anonymous tip?
No, he didn't. Yes, he made an anonymous tip. Later. Okay.
Come on.
See ya. So the police opened an investigation, looking over Mark's and Sean's death reports, because obviously the bodies were cremated. They couldn't do anything there. Detective Neil McAmis noticed striking similarities. Both men had suffered diarrhea, nausea, body aches, and headaches just prior to their deaths. Those symptoms were labeled flu-like, but were also associated with poisoning by ethylene glycol, which is the main ingredient in old-fashioned antifreeze.
I thought I recognized that name.
Detective McAmis decides it's time for Diane to answer a few questions. Now, I could go through this entire thing here where I read off what, he said to her and stuff like that. But why not listen to it ourselves? Because I have it recorded.
Let's give it a red hot crack.
Let's give it a red hot crack. This time it should work because I did it right this time. Okay, I'm going to take it full screen. Everybody mute.
Both Sean and Sarah would just basically, I don't know, trash the house. They would do whatever they wanted to do and never helped support or even contribute. I should have just killed myself.
How long had you been giving them the antifreeze before they finally got, like before Sean passed and before Sarah?
Maybe a couple of days.
And what were you putting it in?
Coca-Cola.
What else?
I think that was it.
How much would you put in?
Just a little bit.
And why just a little bit?
I didn't want to hurt them. I didn't hurt him.
When did you start with Mark?
I didn't. I don't think I did it on Mark.
Diane? You've got to be honest about everything again. Let's not keep going over this because just when I feel you're finally starting to do the right thing, you got to be honest with me about everything. When did you start with Mark?
A couple of days before.
Okay. Was it shortly after you did the search? Okay. So you did this, had you already had the antifreeze at that point, or did you order it after you did the Google search?
I ordered it after.
It wasn't about the money, was it just about hating him so much?
Well, to be honest, I don't know. He would throw things at me. He would throw things at the kids. And I guess I just had enough.
Okay. And it sounds like then after he started to get sick, once he got to the point where he was so bad, that it sounds like you just waited until he passed and then you called 911. So you knew he was dead before you called 911. Okay. Did you check him for a pulse, or how did you know you did and there was no pulse? And obviously from your training, then you were aware that he was dead. Okay. How long had he been dead before you called 911?
Maybe 5 minutes.
Okay. So were you there kind of pretty much checking on him regularly to make sure when he was, and then when he finally did die, then you called? Okay. And then Sean, how did stuff get started with Sean?
Sean would be interfering with whatever I would do. To the point where he was getting into my work. And I would have to tell him, you need to leave, go to your room, go do something. He would just, how can I explain this? I'll explain it. You get to the point where you just pull out your hair. Because I didn't know what else to do with them.
Well, so she said that
She didn't know what else to do with them.
she said he was a pest
Holy
in the interview.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was the first. Oh, sorry.
She said he was a pest.
No, he was the first cop who knew what to do. He knows. Let us just talk. She made it worse every sentence.
Yep. Don't take Coca-Cola from somebody unless it's saying the can's sealed.
God almighty.
Mm-hmm.
So, I nearly was jumping ahead. I'll just wait.
Don't you jump ahead, Claire.
How dare you?
Even though, my country's national animal jumps everywhere. It's in my nature. It's my DNA.
Kangaroo. That's right. Yeah. That's a good excuse. Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got an excuse and you don't.
What's that?
No,
I'm
go ahead.
too fat to jump. You're right, Claire.
Oh my goodness. I'm trying to pull up the next one before I start it again.
No, I wasn't saying you're too fat to jump. It's in your nature
It's a head thing.
too, because you're an jump in. So
Oh,
I know, right? Sorry. Go ahead, Chrissy.
good one. um, yeah. So, with Diane's confession, she was immediately taken into custody. Now, let me show this real quick. There's the antifreeze they found in the garage. While she's taken into custody, police
Ugh.
executed a search warrant at the residence. And one of the crime scene people, here's their house, by the way.
So unassuming.
Mhm. One of the crime scene team members found a purple diary. The small purple diary belonged to Rachel, and the contents inside were more than a little concerning for the investigators. Let's see if this is up yet. Yeah, that's why I don't keep a diary. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no evidence.
Oh, wow.
No evidence. Never write your thoughts down unless you burn it. I mean, it's good to write your thoughts down from what I've been told, but always burn it afterwards because you don't want to be in trouble. I'm still pulling this up, guys, so I'm trying to kill some time. All right, I think I got it.
No, it's the thing. You can write nice words down.
Nice words. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you
All
can
right.
write nice stuff down. Just don't write down your murder plot.
Mm-hmm.
No one would believe me, Claire. You know?
Yeah. All right. Rachel detailed out the upcoming deaths of her father and her brother. She wrote that she knew it was happening and that she was trying to come to terms with it. This is no, Gareth. Okay, the entry said, "It's sad when I realize how my father will pass on in the next 2 months. Sean, my brother, will move on shortly after. It will be tough getting used to the changes, but everything will work out." It was dated June 13th, 2011, which was nearly a year before Rachel's dad died. She knew. So it was time
That's
for,
crazy.
yes, it was
She
time
knew.
for right fire. Uh-oh. It started playing without me pressing play. Stop.
Oh,
Okay. Yeah, so it's time for Miss Rachel to answer some questions now. So let's get to hers. I came prepared tonight. I'm just a little slow on it.
it's time for a comeuppance.
She agreed to come to the station to answer a few questions. It was a lot like Diane's, with it just being an informational interview. When confronted about the journal entries, she explained it away as having dreams and was just expressing herself through the journal. Yeah, nobody believes that.
No.
Add to stream. All right, here we go.
Similar to the way that Dad and Sean would go.
Right. Did she seem scared? Because, you said you talked, or she had talked about being really afraid of death and not wanting to die. Did she ever mention anything about that? Or did she, or I know you said she was asking, am I going to die or am I going to die soon? Did she ever say anything more about her fears of death?
Yeah,
She didn't. What'd she say?
she didn't want to die. She didn't want to. That
I do believe they're talking about Sarah here.
there were things she wanted to do. before she died.
Like what?
Go to France. Mostly travel things.
So how are you guys getting her the drinks without her knowing about it?
She's on the computer a lot, on YouTube a lot, on sites like that a lot. And she's easily distracted. It wouldn't take much to like get whatever drink she did have and just slip it real quick.
Is that what you did?
Yeah.
So describe that to me though. You said she'd be on the computer and distracted.
Take her drink, dump a little out, put stuff in, put it back next to her.
When you say put stuff back in, what were you putting back in there?
The antifreeze.
Okay. I'd like to know why you guys eventually took, when Sarah got so bad, I know you guys said you thought that she was pretty much dead, but why did you take her to the hospital?
I didn't want another one to die in the house.
And why is that?
Because houses are nasty after somebody's died in it.
Okay, and what does that mean? What do you mean? What do you mean by that?
I get a lot of nightmares. Like after Sean died, I moved into his room and it was awful, awful, awful in there. I kept feeling things in there. Just didn't want that again.
Okay. Were you surprised when you found out that Sarah was going to live?
Very.
Very surprised. And what did you think about that then whenever you found that out?
Bit surprised, but then just like, okay, so she's gonna live.
Were there any more discussions of finishing her off?
Didn't really get to.
Never got to those discussions.
Although we did talk about the likelihood of her still dying. I mean, like, if something happened, like, I don't know, bleed out or something.
Did you think that eventually, after everybody dying off in similar ways, that we might show up to talk to you guys? Or were you guys pretty confident?
Didn't really think I would get caught. Stupid now that I think on it. But no, I didn't really think I would.
Did you want it to just be you and your mother?
Yeah.
And why is that?
Because she understands me. She doesn't annoy me.
She understands me. She doesn't annoy me.
She doesn't annoy me. That's yeah. She likes to throw that line out, doesn't she?
Mm-hmm. Uh-oh.
Where'd I go?
Sorry, Claire.
Oh, thank God.
What happened?
Sorry, I did that.
I was like, I haven't moved a muscle. I'm like a statue.
I'm getting a whiplash here. Chrissy,
Mhm.
stop it. I'm too happy to watch
You're
it.
freaking me
I
out.
went to move.
Hey,
I went to remove the shared screen, and I guess since I closed it, it removed it itself, and I didn't realize it, and I hit remove, and it was on your picture. So Oops.
just as we ignored the fact that I got here for a second consecutive week with this internet
Too
new
much love.
lifestyle that I've
You
got to do
overwhelm
here.
us.
Mhm.
No, and then
No,
I'm
I'm
just like,
glad.
and you kick me, and I saved all my data so I could be here, and she
No.
kicks me.
No stream without you
No.
if we can make it.
Okay.
Oh, no, it's cool. All right, sorry to interrupt there. Let's go.
Yeah, let's get this done. During this interview, she also stated that her mother also planned to eventually poison the youngest sister, Brianna, too. So, and her quotes that McGannis said was, "I know there's no way in hell I'd be able to take care of her. I can't take care of me, so how could I ever take care of her?" So they were going to get rid of Brianna as well. She was in the way.
What happened in this woman's life that she gave birth to these children and suddenly they're annoyingly inconvenient?
Yep.
What?
So
Wow.
there's both of them with their mug shots.
Mm.
With the comment over top of them.
Are they smirking?
Oh, you're funny. There you go.
No, look at this.
Mom is,
It's got.
but she don't. Rachel don't look like she is, but the mother definitely look like she's smirking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I shoot them.
right. Well, now she don't have to worry about any of her kids pestering her or being in the way because she entered what's called an Alford plea for 2 counts of first-degree murder. The Alford plea just acknowledges that the prosecutors have enough evidence to convict her without having to admit to the crime. But then I read down that she pled guilty, so who knows? But she's serving a life sentence without parole, Diane. Rachel pled guilty to second-degree murder in 2015 as part of a plea deal in exchange for testifying against her mother if it had gone to trial. She received 2 life terms with the possibility of parole after 42 and a half years. So, while in court, Sarah, who was left with permanent neurological damage and who now has to live in an assisted living facility, read a prepared statement saying she forgave her mother. "Not only she took away my dad and brother, she also took away my livelihood and my independence. I prefer to be a survivor and not a victim." That was her statement that she read.
I forgot, how old's Brianna at this time?
11.
She's not old enough to make a
No.
statement.
No.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
Rachel in court, it was like a twig. She read a statement also, but it was basically geared towards Sarah and Sarah only. So I'll leave it up there for a minute so everybody can pause on the replay and read it if they want to, but I'm not going to bother reading that whole thing.
She got off too easy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she's, what is she, 22 or 23, something like that, and she has to serve at least 42 years. So by the time she even is eligible for parole, her life is basically over. I mean, and that doesn't mean she's going to get parole. That just means she's eligible for parole. So.
Yeah.
And the only other
Just
thing
gonna
about
mute my
okay. Yeah, you're roboted. Oh, okay.
for a sec.
All right. Yeah, the only other thing about this case that I have is that in 2016, Rachel, she was 25, filed a motion to vacate which is set aside or correct her prison sentence, saying her fear of men kept her from getting due process. She said she's afraid of men and was intimidated by her attorneys as well as the investigators.
Yeah, well, in the prison, it's all women, right? So she has nothing to worry about there.
Yeah, no, she said she didn't get a fair trial because she
Yeah.
was intimidated by these
There will be
officers.
men. If
Yeah.
there's a real trial, there will be men there again. So what are you going to do? Let her go home?
Well, the motion was denied, so
Thank you.
so that's the only other thing that I had about it. So, do you have anything?
Yet, the one thing why I believed it was important to jump ahead with the dried blood around the mouth is that you said that then the examiner found the dried blood around the mouth. And I think it was obvious to anyone walking in. It seems like that the police saw it and thought, oh, the examiner will find out what it was. And the examiner got that body and said, oh, the police saw it. There's dried blood. They say, hey, no one took responsibility. And then both bodies were cremated immediately.
Yep. I guess the reason they weren't bothered too much by the dried blood on the mouth is because of the story Diane gave them about them having seizures and stuff. And obviously the dried blood could be from that. Or because they were vomiting and everything else. So they just chalked up the dried blood as being all part of that. Instead of investigating further as something else could have been wrong. But
well, they thought, hey, look, that's how they check out. It's genetic. When they die, they have dried blood around them. The thing is that she said that Sean was actually having flu-like symptoms for a week. So it was the same result, but she gave a different reason for what happened. She said her husband, it was just 2 days and a seizure. But Sean had flu-like symptoms for 2 weeks. Like if the police looks at it and says it's two different stories, the same outcome.
Yeah, but the band members said that Mark wasn't feeling well and he was weak and yellow. And
yes.
So
I actually watched them play. Like they had a good gig. Like they had some notoriety.
Yeah, they were
played
getting
good music. Yeah.
They were getting there. So
yeah, this one is bad.
That's the Staudte family. That would be all.
Yeah, but no, it's rounded up nicely. There are no more questions. Well, the questions are why no one picked up earlier, and good for the pastor.
Yes. Yeah, he knew. He had a feeling something was not right. So he made an anonymous call. He didn't say who he was. But then eventually, after it all came out, he came forward and said he was the one who called. So
just imagine if he doesn't make that call, they might have never looked into it. In a sense.
Yeah.
Because he alerted the police something is not right here.
Yeah, they wouldn't have never investigated if it wasn't for the preacher coming forth and saying you need to investigate this. Something don't seem right. So.
And he knew her very well if she played the organ in that church. So he knew what she is like and not certain times.
Yep. So.
Well, this is one time religion in a crime is a good thing.
Yes.
This is true.
It's usually it's not so good.
No.
Yeah.
Hey, Chrissy, seeing it's true crime, I got a question unrelated. Because, I'm tapering my internet presence so I can be here every Saturday. What's the latest on the Laurie Vallow thing, just quickly?
She filed a motion, which I did a video on. They want to.
Yeah, I think I saw a notification for that. But.
Yeah, they want to clarify the indictments because they think it's going to confuse the jury. Now, I haven't heard what the judge came back with as far as his decision. They don't make decisions right away. They make you wait until you read in the paper or something. So, but that's it so far. I mean, they're both still going to trial. I believe it's December. I believe it's in December. So, and it's not a severed case. They are being tried
Last time
together.
I heard it was good.
Last time you heard what?
I'm glad it's still like that. Oh, no, the last time I heard, I thought the trial was September, but December, that's cool. And I just wanted to make sure that they're still being tried together as well.
Yes, yeah, they're still being tried together. See, first it was December for Chad and January for Lori, but since their trials are being held together, they had to move Lori's up to December. There was a big motion thing on that too because of right to speedy trial and blah blah blah. So yeah, but they're still together, being tried together in Boise. They're moving everything to Boise, Idaho, which is away from where they're at in Rexburg because of they don't want people there being biased.
You know, you
but,
just stole my thunder because I
Yeah.
would have said Boise's in Idaho because I know that about America. I knew where Boise was.
yeah.
That's the case you had the hearing on this week?
No, I did that is the case. Yes.
Oh, okay, because I actually want that the lawyer gets it all done the way he wants, because she should get the most perfect trial as possible, so she can't just occupy the system by filing one appeal after the other, you know?
Yeah, but you've got to remember she's not alone in this case. There's another defendant. So she can't have it her way, and then Chad gets, one way or the other, one of them's going to have a reason to file appeals.
Yes.
So
sure, but it gives it even more fuel, like everything that can be done right about her case coming up should be done right. So
and then it's going to be wrong for Chad. So either way you go, you lose.
Well, doesn't he have a lawyer too?
Yeah, but they both can't have it their way.
Okay, but let me tell you, I just understand why he's doing it.
He's trying to what's the word I'm looking for? Delay things.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean he's being crooked.
But
in his defense,
hoping it would just go away.
Yeah, in his defense, he was kind of thrown this case because her normal lawyer, which was Archibald,
yes,
he is not
I remember that.
Qualified to try a death penalty case.
Mhm.
So they had to get more lawyers in. So they didn't have as much time as Archibald did to go over the millions of files on this case.
Mhm.
These lawyers are like wet behind the ears per se on this case because they don't know everything. Can you imagine how many hours they had to cram and look over this case just to get prepared for this thing?
Mm.
I mean, they got to talk to the witnesses. They got to go over all the depositions. They have to go over all the cases, the laws, these
Evidence,
guys,
everything.
Yeah, I hope these lawyers that they do have don't have any other cases, period, besides this one, because nothing can distract them. Or else they're just going to come in and say, I didn't have time to do this. I was thrown into this case. So.
Yeah. No, I get that too.
Yeah. Now, Chad's lawyer, he's been there from the beginning, so he don't have an excuse.
Mm.
But Lori's is a different attorney, so.
Isn't it like her fourth attorney?
Yes, she had Mark
Third or
Means,
fourth?
and
I
he
remember
left.
Means.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she got Archibald, who wasn't qualified for the death penalty. And then she got two other ones that are working together now. So, but yeah. So that case will be coming up in the next few months, and I will be hopefully covering that trial. I hope they air it so that I can stream it. But,
should I share my story of true crime this week?
Sure.
Or
Sure.
you want to wrap things up?
No, we're wrapped up. We're done. We're done with this case. But we'll just chit chat for a few minutes. It's only
Okay.
been 50 minutes. We got 10 more before the hour's up.
Yep. So I was telling Chrissy earlier, Better Call Saul, this week at work, I got a security call saying somebody's hand had been chopped off with a machete, which was a block away from where I work. And I thought it was a joke, and it wasn't.
Did you find your machete?
And it was.
Just behind him.
Don't you have one?
I'm like,
What if they
What?
used it?
Anyway.
You know, like not you did it, but someone walks in. If someone gets shot, I'm looking if my guns are here. It's just, you know, you never know.
I know, but it wasn't where I work, on the block where I work. It's on the other side of the street, but it could affect flow into the traffic area. Anyway, so our security had to go down there. And I'm like, are you what, a machete? For real? Anyway, I had the police on the phone that afternoon looking for CCTV footage, which I do on the regular in my job, which I love. And then the detectives are in the next day to pick up the footage and whatever. But we didn't catch anything of the actual incident. But the detective did tell, and our security people could hear the guy screaming, and they saw him being put in the ambulance in a little plastic bag with fingers in it. Anyway, it turned out, serious, it's true. I said to the detective, I said, so did he really lose 3 fingers? He goes, actually, he had surgery at 1 a.m. He's lost 2, and they're trying to save 1. I'm like, and was it really a machete? And he's like, yep, it was a machete.
So did they
I
get
was
the
just
guy
like,
that done it?
Nope. And because they exhausted all our footage, they've put it out in the news and saying, you know, they want body cam. They want dash cam footage of possible cars that were in the area at the time. So,
How old was the person that was chopped?
19.
Oh.
Guitar player, left hand.
No.
It's like Mark from Mark Staudte. He played guitar too, but he got antifreeze. Yeah, okay, it's not the same case. But guitar playing is
2
dangerous.
fingers
Well, two fingers.
2 fingers
Oh,
on your
man.
left hand. On your left hand, you're not going to play guitar.
No, not anymore. That's it. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
No.
But you know how sometimes you hear, oh, that happened, and then the next time you hear it with a little whisper, it changes a bit. But people lost digits, not a hand, and it was a friggin' machete. I'm just like, whoa, who drives around with a machete? Wow.
He must have pissed somebody off, huh?
Yeah. Apparently they were all friends and an altercation broke out.
Yeah.
And machete is a go-to weapon
It is.
on the ghetto streets of my town. Well, it's
Well,
effective.
I'm sure the guy's seen who did it. I mean,
Yeah, he would know.
No, hang on.
well, hopefully they catch the guy. And
Yeah, but that's my little true crime thing. It's unfortunate someone got hurt, but no one died. So that's, you know, most of the things we cover, everyone's dead. So we don't want to go there, girlfriend.
I have a wife, but no machete.
I was just saying,
What? Yes. Yes.
Hi, Coleman.
No, it's my wife.
Oh.
She has the deepest voice in the house. No, she has a mask on. Oh my God, she says she's the only one with the real balls in the house.
I heard
Oh,
that.
she's not wrong. She's not wrong.
Well, I don't want to say her name, but hi, Mrs. Ing.
She says hi back. She waved. Hey, Naptos, good to see you, brother.
Hey, Nap. Yeah.
So
You know
why did
who
you
it
say
was?
True Crime Saturday, Claire?
Because it's Saturday for her.
Oh,
She's in the
Wow.
future, remember?
she's in the future. So You
Mm-hmm.
tell me I'm jumping ahead. I'm yesterday.
Yeah, you're behind, really, but it's worked all
Totally.
the time. It's worked.
Still missing stuff.
It is nearly 11 p.m. for me, 1 p.m. in the afternoon on Saturday for Claire.
Yeah,
Right? Yeah.
that's
8
correct.
p.m.
Yep,
West
you got it.
Coast.
Mm-hmm.
Right, you're the only one in a normal time, so it's quite
And
late
Ing-
for Chrissy.
Yeah, and Ing is 3 hours behind me. So.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah,
and
jumping
Mark is
ahead
in
my ass.
Wales.
Mhm.
In
Well,
Wales?
it worked.
Who? Oh, Gareth.
Mark,
Oh, Mark.
Nap, I didn't know you were in a
Saturday here
different
in
time
Wales.
zone.
Yeah, he's ahead 9 hours, I think, to the
Yeah?
West Coast.
No, he's 1 hour behind me.
Oh,
He said it's nearly 10 there.
oh.
But I thought he was the same time zone as me. Was not aware.
She has a Saturday morning beer.
Oh, no. That's
Yeah.
correct, Gareth.
Yeah, if only it worked that way. She'd have been giving him to me a long time ago.
Oh,
Foster's, Australian for beer. I loved Foster's back in the day.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Oh, he spelt it right. Good job, Peter.
Yeah, we better highlight that comment. Just
Yeah.
got it right. See, I've got 2 eyes in my head. I don't need one in my name. That's how. It's an easy way to remember that.
Mhm. Yep. All right. Well, does anybody have anything else to add?
Not for tonight.
Look at Mark's comment.
6 a.m. in Wales. The night is
The
young.
night is young.
Hmm.
That reminds me of a quote from GOT. The night is dark and full of terrors.
What's GOT?
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. That.
I highly recommend it, Chrissy. I highly
yeah.
Thank
recommend
you.
it.
Just don't
thank
watch
you.
the last episode of the last season.
No, yeah, it went a little bit downhill. But, Chrissy, we're very similar.
I'm not-
That's why we're friends, right?
I'm not into any of that stuff, though. That's the difference.
Not yet.
No, I'm not.
Yeah,
I don't watch
haven't finished
movies.
I haven't
Period.
finished.
I
Yeah.
cannot watch a movie.
I haven't
I
finished.
Yeah, if you can, it's.
But I didn't think I'd like it. And I watched it, and
That's
I
true
was
too, yeah.
shocked that I enjoyed it.
That's actually true. I
people,
didn't.
I watched it 10 years later. I'd never watched it at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what are you all on about? It just loses all this TV show. But once I binge watched it, and for me it was really good in a timeline experience for an investment of your time. Oh, it was great. I mean, come on. Who doesn't want to see Aquaman? Even he's in it. What's his name? What's his name?
He's Samoan or something. Momoa, no. What's it?
He's ugly.
Jason Momoa.
Yeah.
Jason Momoa.
Yeah. We have women for beauty. Why does a man have to look good?
No, I can't sit through
Anyway.
a movie. Period. I can't. I don't watch any movies. Back in the day, I used to. I could watch Grease and Dirty Dancing over and over again. I like musicals. I can watch musicals, but I just can't do those kind of movies.
You're romantic.
Action packed. I hate like the Spider-Man and Batman. I don't watch any of that stuff. None of that. Harry Potter. We went to see Harry Potter in the movie theater, and I don't know how
That
many
I
times I
couldn't.
told you. I got up, went to the bathroom, or got popcorn, or I just can't sit through them. I can't.
Is it because it bores you or it's too long?
Probably both.
Okay.
I don't have the attention span for that. Now I can sit down at a computer and design things and do my crafts for hours. But I just can't sit through a movie. I just get too.
I binge watch Twilight regularly. All four
I
movies.
couldn't watch that one either. Nope.
Well, it's for the heart.
I can watch TV shows, like hour-long shows, but I can't do movies.
Mhm.
So I can't read a book either. I forget what I read a page late earlier.
Only history books.
Yeah, I'm like that with books.
Yeah, I
But
can't.
Mark, yeah, you'll love it. You'll love it.
There's quite a
Can you hear
few
the
that I
cooker
want
lines?
to read, but I know I won't be able to get through them, so I don't waste my money on it.
Mhm.
I did do an audio book once. That was pretty interesting. I was able to craft while I listened to it. I like that. That was good.
That's good.
No, if you've got a really good book, that I think is that. Do you know what that reminds me of? Those audiobooks.
Hmm.
When I was younger, because my dad is legally blind because he's an albino or bino, however you say it, and every week we used to have to go to the Royal Blind Society and get him a talking book, and it was this huge tape player, and at the time the cassettes were like the old VHS. They weren't like the tape cassettes. They were in between, and he'd pick which books he wants and he'd take them home and he'd read them that week, and then we'd go back. And I just remember doing that as a kid, and then as I grew up and the devices got smaller, and then we got like iPods when it was just audio or music, and now he listens to audiobooks and he loves it, and it's just like a transition of something which I think is amazing for blind people that can't read text. And
Gareth, listen to me.
audiobooks are great because you said it.
Right.
The women out there that are lucky that I married is Mama Gurney, Coach Love, and Kristen Stewart from the Twilight movies. Booyah. Guys, I have to leave.
Okay.
But I have to say something. Can we go backstage? Please.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
1 hour, 2 minutes.
Thanks for everybody being here tonight, and
Thank you,
we'll
yes.
see you next Friday.
Yeah,
Don't forget to
love you
hit
all.
that like and subscribe and donation link and all that other good stuff. See
Thank
you
you
next
for
week.
having me.